Hi, I'm Emiliano with Leather and Loom.
I'm Drew.
I'm Lee Sams.
So Lee came, joined us. We kind of chatted over. We slid into his DMs a little bit. Not gonna lie, I think Andrew did. I will apologize. Andrew and I only have one mic, so we're gonna be trading it off with each other. But Lee, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
He brought us a gift, and I'll let Andrew kind of talk into it. It's a fantastic gift, and I appreciate it.
I'm going to let Lee talk into it. We're going to plug Lee's friend, this company, Wrist Clean from Pennsylvania. You want to tell us like a little bit about Wrist Clean?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been really fortunate to meet just amazing people in this watch community. And Don at Wrist Clean, I don't even recall how we got together. I just kind of adjacent to what I was looking for, like good watch cleaning products, something that kept the oils and dust and stuff off my watches. And I found out about this company, and we got connected just through Instagram, and we're chatting and developed a really close personal relationship. Like much happens in this hobby, just like us and you guys. So anyway, I've always done my best to support them, but they are really amazing. Hope you guys enjoy these. It's just a great way to keep your watch clean. And yeah, no skin in the game for me, but I love sharing stuff that I enjoy and that I use every day to other enthusiasts. So I can't recommend it more. So
yeah. We're not getting paid by Don.
We are not getting paid. This is an unpaid sponsorship.
Yeah. Don, thank you. We're excited to use it. So Lee, I think we can start off like, what got you into reselling watches, man?
Yeah, so my journey in watch collecting was really interesting. So my career is sales. So I work in software sales, and I had a sales manager years and years ago when I was in the trenches selling myself, really quite literally in the trenches. Yeah. And he was a big watch collector, and he kind of I would see these watches on his wrist. I'd see like a GMT2, or I'd see a Polar Explorer, or I'd see an Omega, and I never really was into watches. Like I had a couple growing up that I thought were cool, but there's a big difference between wearing a watch and being a watch person. And that was the big kind of momentum shift for me. Was I saw that vibe. I saw the confidence that it inspired on his wrist, and I saw how much he enjoyed it. And when he and I started talking about it, his father was a pilot and had watches that he used while he was a pilot. And so that's how that love of watches translated down to his son. And so I had a big month. I remember having this huge month. So I bought myself a Seiko SKX 007, which is like the true gateway drug for any watch enthusiast. And I bought one for me and for him to say thank you. And he was like blown away. And that just kind of sparked my love for the hobby ever since, in this crazy journey that I've been on as a collector.
I want to derail the conversation just really quickly and give a shout out to a good friend who's probably watching this, named Casey. This man has been asking about an Omega Seamaster 300M, like the blue dial. Like
great watch.
Traditional watch.
Great watch.
I just don't think he's there yet, like collecting wise. But he's like, dude, I love this watch. If you find it inexpensively, like let me know. And I found one for like, I don't know, like a new model for like at the $3,000 market. He's like, I don't think I'm there yet. So I was like, all right, man, let me help you out. So I just sent him a Seiko 5 Sport diver that was the blue dial, blue bezel. And I think that got him started.
Great choice.
He was like, up about it. So yeah, just want to give the dude a shout out. And the Omega's coming next, Casey. So.
Nice. Yep.
Okay.
Baby steps.
I also want to shout out to Casey. He made himself a shirt of Leather and Loom.
And what? For real?
Yeah, and just like sent it to us, DM'd us a shirt, and it's actually great. So Casey, appreciate it. We're probably going to set those up on our website.
Nice. I love that.
One thing I want to ask you, Lee, what got you in, or what appealed to you more? Was it the story the watch gave you personally, or the story when you like hand watches or when you talk about it to others? Like that, like what bit you more, the bug? Was it the internal story or the story you're able to share with others?
Yeah, it's a great question. So what I love about timepieces is the anachronistic nature of it. We have a phone that can tell us anything about the world at any given time. I can answer any question I have. I can see what time it is. And I feel like that devalues the experience of time, the experience of going throughout your day to be on time, to make sure that you are prompt and you understand where you are in the day. And so I always love the fact that a tiny little machine sitting on your wrist can keep very similar time to technology that is used by every single person in the world. And so there's obviously a fashion element to it too. Like you have watches that look cool, or they have like a purpose, like a dive watch, or a dress watch. You want to go out, you want to look fancy. But I've really kind of come full circle. I think initially it was I just love a watch because it looks cool. But as I grew as a collector, as I collected more pieces and more interesting pieces, I would say, I realized that there's huge value in what was created. This was a person that created this watch that ultimately built this piece that's now on my wrist. And if you're a car lover, like there's a lot of similar nature to car lovers, because you can buy an electric vehicle, and I'm not certainly trashing anybody that has electric vehicles or like smartwatches.
You're on our
or anything
list,
like that.
Elon.
Yeah, Elon. But having like a cool old muscle car with a massive engine in it that's purposely tuned exactly for what you built it for is like, once you get in that car, it is a totally different experience. And the
Okay.
same thing is true for a watch.
So what is your car? Because mine's a 1969 Fastback Mustang.
Oh, I love that.
I guess you would say what you were just putting that kind of like car that is
Yeah.
for me.
I've been very fortunate to have some really cool cars, but probably close to that was a 69 Mustang Coupe with a 50 HO swap.
You had that?
66, sorry. It was a 66 50 swap. It was awesome. And I actually sold that car to buy my wife's wedding ring. So
That is cool,
it was
man.
funny when she found out that I sold it. She was actually upset because she came from a car family. She helped her grandfather restore Model A's and Model T's. So she was like, I wish you'd just give me a cheaper ring and kept the car, because I really love that car. But
So
man.
funny.
you can always buy new
That's an
cars.
anniversary present down the line.
That's right. I'm mentally filing that away for the
Would you consider yourself a materialistic person? Given
Yeah.
everything, and you kind of like have that attraction to your watches, to your
Yeah.
cars, would you consider yourself a materialistic person?
Yeah, no, that's a really fair question. We are actually very simplistic people. I would say we've actually pared our lives down. I wouldn't say minimalistic necessarily, but there's certain things that I like that are buy once, cry once for me, and a timepiece is that. I think certain clothes I think are the same way, but like for me, no, I'm not interested in owning things just for the sake of a flex or to have that.
Yeah.
But I appreciate finer things in life, and I appreciate things that get me excited or that connect me with them. And so that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be expensive, right? So when you look at my collection, obviously I've collected Rolex and Omega and a handful of others, but I enjoy really affordable watches. Like I have friends that clown on me sometimes, and they'll say like, "Why do you wear this cheap G-Shock all the time?" Like, because it's fun. Like there's a purpose for that watch, and I enjoy it. Right? It gives me the same amount of pleasure owning that than if I am wearing my Daytona or a GMT2 or what have you. So
Yeah, I don't know if you feel the same way. I feel like for me, watch collecting or just like anything, like I buy like a car, it's always story driven for me.
Yeah.
Kind of like your wife's wedding ring. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, I sold this really cool car and now I have this ring, and like you're always going to talk about that.
yeah,
And like for me, that is like why I like watch collecting in general. Like a Rolex GMT, you can talk about like the airlines and like the Submariner was involved in like Vietnamese wars, and like that's what it is. That's what it's about for me.
it's a moment too, right?
Yeah.
There's a moment that can be represented by a timepiece, and I think that's a little bit of a cliche, because I think the watch industry encourages that. They want, if you have a big milestone, like you should buy a watch because that's what everybody does. But
Yeah.
if you are a watch collector, if you're excited about watches, you can really appreciate how much work it takes to get to a
Yes.
milestone, and that now represents your work. So yeah, I'm a big fan of, if you get to a big milestone, you get a big promotion, or you get married,
Yeah.
buy a nice watch. You'll never forget that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, Lee, do you want to plug Watch Mod Perfect?
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny. My collector journey is probably a little bit different than most. So I started out as typical collector, collecting Seikos and Citizens and fun affordables, and then I started to learn about the world of watch modding, and that you could actually change pieces on a watch.
Yeah.
You could change the bezel, you could change the sapphire crystal, you could do really whatever you want. And so I started to design Seiko mods based on different design styles that I just came up with in my head. So I might have like a Doxa theme, and so I'd build a Doxa themed watch. My style was to kind of build like an OEM plus, so using OEM parts, but upgrades that came from really high quality providers. And I did that for a while, and I felt like that market started to get a little bit saturated. Like my inspiration level started to drop after I got most of my design concepts out. That took me though to create the brand of Watch Mod Perfect, which I kind of created on Instagram. And it was weird. Like I just started to have a lot of people following me, like following my journey and the designs that I came up with. But it opened up some really cool doors for me too. So I worked really closely with the Carolina Watch Club that I'm associated with in North Carolina, and we actually developed a custom Tudor Pelagos. So we built the Club Pelagos with Tudor in Geneva for the better part of about 18 months. Really, really crazy experience. Like very, a little bit nerve wracking because it's Tudor, right?
You're in it
like
now,
you're
yeah.
in it, like we're here, like we're doing this. And so they did some really cool stuff for us. Like they put the Carolina Watch Club logo on the dial and they loomed it for us, which as far as I know is a world first for Rolex, which is really cool. So that, and then now I'm very blessed to get the chance to work with Norqain. So I'm in a project right now with Norqain. Yep.
I
Very
followed their
unique
journey
watches.
Right when they Norcane, really cool company. I followed their journey right when they started producing watches. One that stuck out to me, I think it's called the Independence. The
Yes,
skeleton.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that one was really cool. I was never into skeleton watches. I went in there and I heard the story. I think they have some people from Breitling. If I,
They did, yeah. I believe it was the Breitling family that
yeah,
started
that
it.
moved over and started this watch, and they're like this like they're one of the few watch brands, like these independent watch brands, that are like, hey, like take this watch and go mess it up. Like it is an adventure ready watch. Yeah, they're really cool though.
Yeah, great brand. Really cool guys to work with.
Yep.
And we've worked with a handful of other brands like Formex. We're looking to do a custom kind of watch with. So that it's just fun to see that journey. We started out just building Seikos, and now like we're talking to the biggest companies in the world doing these really cool designs. So,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think a lot of that speaks to kind of the way we've been talking all morning. You have a passion that permeates into everything, right? It permeates into that. It permeates in how you talk about your business, how you talk about your family. Like, I think it's fantastic. Going along the leather and loom theme, what would you say to someone on the street who's kind of thinking, man, maybe I should get my first watch? Or like, what are some things that you would look into of like, hey, if you're going to start this journey, it's a long one, so pack your bags. What advice would you give them to start?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. And my best advice that I give to anybody who's newly collecting is to buy what you like. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna buy stuff that turns out to be a turd. Like I think all of us have gone through the Invicta phase at some point, right?
Oh yeah.
But like it, but if you like it, enjoy it, wear it, because that's part of the journey, right? You're gonna find out through that journey of what you actually enjoy wearing. We were talking about dive watches earlier offline. Like if you like dive watches, collect dive watches and enjoy them, right? And if you feel like you want to branch out, then start branching out and just try stuff. So that's my biggest advice is like, and also obviously buy what is within your budget. Don't stretch yourself. There's no reason to stretch yourself over something that in the grand scheme of things isn't important. But those are the two biggest advice pieces that I usually give to folks.
That's some solid advice. I think that's all we have time for. Again, I'm Drew. This is Emiliano. We're Leather and Loom.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm
All right,
Lee.
thanks, Lee.